What's up, Blender Savages? So today on Blender Savage, we're going to use an A.N.T landscape and then we're going to texture paint it. That's right, texture paint. We're going to paint right on our models. We don't have to worry about vertices or edges. It's going to go bam, bam, bam with the paintbrush. Let's go. Alright, so just like most projects, we need to start out by deleting the cube. There we have the cube selected, X key, delete it. Alright, now I want to bring in a landscape, so I go Shift A, Mesh, and it's not there. So let's activate that add-on so we can create a landscape. Because we can make one from scratch, but we're going to be here a very long time making it from scratch. Let's go over to Preferences here. We get this Blender Preferences window. Select add-ons on the left side right here. I was looking something up earlier. See, there's different features here, so you can set up Blender. So go to add-ons and use the search tool here and type in landscape, or start typing in landscape, and you will get A.N.T landscape. You're thinking, hey, I should just type in A.N.T. It's very specific. You need to type in A.N.T. A.N.T stands for another noise texture. You're going to click there, activate it. All right, and just close it. So once you click on the box to the left, add the check mark, just close it. It activates it for you. Sorry, it saves it for you. There's a default setting that saves it there for you. All right, so I'm going to go to Shift A, Mesh, and there it is. That wasn't there before. Now it's there. So you can see there it's trying to show me some hills. So I'm going to click there. Boom, there it is. There's my little landscape. I'm going to change it. I don't like this look. I'm going to go with something different. Cool thing is when you first bring it in, you get this menu right here, and you can make all kinds of changes to it. See? Oh, well, that didn't seem to change it much. There we go. That looks a lot more different. If you click away or something, you're going to lose the menu. So just a heads up, if you start making changes. So if you want to bring it back, just click on your model. And then your keyboard, hit F9. There it is. So it's back. So I'm going to go over here, F9. And I'm going to change the noise type right here. This is the dominant look of your model. I'm going to go with ridged and fractal there. Cool, so I got like a ridge there. That looks cool. And then I'm going to hit F9 again, bring that menu back. And then I'm going to choose a noise type. Let me try cell noise. Cool, there we go. That looks very sci-fi like. But I think I'm going to go with something a little bit more blocky. Sorry, a little bit more more nature looking, something like that. Was that the default one earlier? Yeah, I'll go with that. That looks cool. Got a few rocks in there. Alright, so there we go. This is actually not that big. So you can see there's 2x2 Blender units. We can try making it taller or bigger, F9. You can change the sizes right here. See? But 2 is okay with me. But you can make a longer landscape if you wish to do that. That's more you have to paint, to be honest. So I'm not actually going to paint the whole thing. I'm just going to paint what's in the view of the camera. Keep the lesson short. But you guys can paint where you want. And then I can change the height of it as well, make it taller. You can see it there, get taller in the background. Let's move this menu over. See, there we go. I guess it reached the limit there. Alright, so I'm going to get out of there. So now I want to go on to painting it. To do that, we're going to go over here to the workspaces. I'm going to go to texture paint right here. Is it loading? Come on, Blender. Texture paint. There we go. Cool. Let me zoom in. As you can see here, I have 2 panels now, or 2 windows. On the right side here, this is actually object mode. It just happens to be in a... Sorry, it's not object mode. It's a 3D viewport. It just happens to be in texture paint mode. Okay, texture paint mode. And oops, go back to texture paint. If I go here to object mode, see now it's a lot more like the 3D viewport. But we're going to do texture painting here. And I can click on there and guess what? No color. So hold your horses, we're not there yet. On the left side over here I have the image editor. That looks just like the UV editor, so you can see there. But in order for us to start painting, we got to follow a few steps. So the first thing you got to do is unwrap your mesh. We got to unwrap our mesh. So we're going to take it to edit mode and unwrap it. So just hit the tab key while your mouse is in the 3D viewport over here. There it is. It's in edit mode. And then hit U for unwrap. And you would think, hey, just click unwrap right here. You know, it'll unwrap it. That works. But the UV map over here looks really not so cool, right? So it's kind of curved right here. It doesn't look very straight. We want to try to get it to look a little bit more square. So we're over here. We're going to unwrap it again. And also, if you click somewhere, you're going to have trouble unwrapping it. So if you click somewhere, you deselect the whole thing. And we want to unwrap the whole thing. So hit A to select all. The whole thing should be glowing. Hit U, but this time we're going to go to Smart UV Project. And then I'm going to go down here and change the island margin. So with this method by UV wrapping, it's going to create groups of UVs. They're called UV maps, UV islands. What I want to do is space them out a little bit. So I'm going to click in here, type in .05, and then OK, and there it is. See, it kind of separated everything into little groups. So those are UV islands. And while I'm at it, I want to give a shout out to Grant Abbitt from YouTube, who actually taught me how to UV map. UV map. Taught me to texture paint. Grant Abbitt right here, great YouTuber, and he has a lot of tutorials on texture painting. A lot of great beginner level videos on how to use Blender. So shout out to Grant Abbitt. I saw his video tutorials on texture painting, and I learned a lot. Except I'm not the best when it comes to digital painting, but there it is. Shout out to Grant Abbitt. You can learn more from him. All right, so there it is. I have it unwrapped. So that's step 1. Step 2 is base color. I got to choose a base color. So I'm going to go over here in the Properties tab. I'm still in edit mode, so I have to go back over to Texture Paint. There it is. Cool. So notice the Properties panel, I have Texture Paint tools. And I'm going to hit the plus sign right here next to No Textures. I need to choose a base color. So whenever you're digital painting, when you're digitally painting, you got to choose a base color. It's going to be your dominant color, your underlying color, and then you paint on top of that. So you can see here on my face, there's obviously one color for my skin complexion, but there's a gradient of different colors. So there's a light here coming from this window behind me, and then it's dark on the other side. There's a base color there, but there's all these other colors on my face. Same thing on all the other surfaces around the world. So we're going to choose a base color here and just give it a name. You could even name it base color, right? I'm going to name it after the color here. I want to go with like a reddish color. Red underscore base color. So I'll name it something like that. I still haven't chosen a color. I had to go down here. See this black bar? That's actually a color picker there, the color wheel. So I'm going to bring the value up. There we go. And I'll make like a dark red color here. Something like that. Make it a little bit more on the orange side. Something brownish. That looks cool. I like that. And then hit OK. There you go. See, there it is. All right. And we're still not done. We still cannot get started on the texture painting. Well, we can, but the best thing to do is this next step over here. Go over to your image editor and then click on this icon right here and select red base color. So you can bring in the base color over here on the left side, and now we can paint over it. So just like the UV editor over here, see, this is not the image editor, this is the UV editor, but it looks just like the texture paint editor, right? See, we're going to use it the same way, except over here on the image editor, we get a paint on the UV map. So that's really cool. All right, so when we're painting, we want to have some reference, something to reference from, and we also want to start out from big to small. So we'll work on the larger areas and work our way down to the detailed areas. So I'm going to go over here back to Google, and now I'm just going to type in mountains. Then I'm going to go to images, and instead of going with the red looks, I'm going to look for some red mountains. All looks cool, but it'll take a very long time to paint. Might be easier with some shaders. So this mountain, I like this mountain here. It looks like an actual painting. Probably is. MTG Wiki Fandom. I have no idea what MTG is. There's more stuff right here. This one might be like a real image. So cool, I like that. And you know what? I think I'm going to add some snow on it while I'm at it. But I got the main dominant color there. As you can see here, different shades of red, lighter areas, darker areas. So let's go ahead and start making the darker areas. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow along the curvature here and start making darker areas. So I need to scroll down and select my color. So I'm going to go down here and let me go with like a darker red. Maybe a little bit lighter. No, let's go, let's make it darker than that, darker than that. Let's go there, there. And I want to leave that color there. So here's the size of my brush, the radius. The tools are also up here. Exact same tool. So if I change it here, it's going to change them over here as well. So let me try 10. No, let me try 25. All right. And then for the strength, 1 would be 100%. But when you're actually painting, I don't know if anybody here has actually painted before, but you get your brush, and the more water you add to it, the more diluted, the more transparent the paint gets. So that's what strength is like. So I'm going to bring that down to 0.5, make it semi-transparent, and I'm going to start coloring these areas here where I'd assume shadows would be at. So like around there. There we go. So something like that. See? There we go. There we go. Right around there. Cool. And yeah, it's going to look shiny. That's because of the solid viewport shader that we have. That's cool. Going to go over these darker areas. Maybe I want to decide what side I want to face the camera, and then I'll focus painting that one. So I guess I'm gonna go with this side facing the camera, and I'll focus on painting right here, and not so much the back. There we go. If you wonder how I'm doing this, I'm just pushing down the middle mouse button. So the same mouse commands that work on the 3D viewport to navigate around the 3D viewport will also work here. So you can zoom in and out by spinning the wheel. Hold on Shift and the middle mouse button, you can perform a pan, something like this. And this one's just the middle mouse button there to orbit around. Alright, so I'm going to go in there into these little cracks there. And you can have it overlap a little bit, get these different gradients in there. Just like that. Try to follow the curvature there. Well, watch out for these hooks. That happens to me all the time when I'm using the mouse. See how I drag down, and I release, and then go back up. But sometimes I forget to release, and when I go back up, I get these little check marks, these little hooks. So that might happen to you, so watch out for that. And there it is. Cool, cool, cool. There is a way to try to straighten these out, make straighter lines, but that's cool. Well, I wanted to have this hand painting look. There it is, all these streaks here going up and down. And now I'm going to make the brush a little bigger. So I'm going to go over here with 50 and reduce the strength down to 0.1. And I'm just going to kind of go over this area here. There it is. Let me scroll down. I can go over here to stroke, and I can do like an airbrush effect. So I'll go with airbrush. Let's try this again. There, just make it a little bit darker there on the areas here that are going to be in the camera view. It's barely noticeable, but that's cool. I don't want it too noticeable. Let's make it more noticeable. Try 0.25. Gonna try to blend these in. Oh, so you can see it right there. See it building up right there. Cool, cool, cool. On the very top there. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna add some other colors on there. Because in the real world, the colors just bounce off all over the place. So let me see if that's going on over here. I don't know, I kind of see some yellow there. What about these other ones? That all looks really real. I wonder if that's real right there. Unstable, full art. I guess that's art. All right, I'm going to throw some yellows in there. So I'm going to go back over here and bring this up. That looks like a cool color there. I'm going to go with that. The brush at strength low. Yeah, that's cool. Our airbrush. And just randomly just hit some spots there. Get some color variation. You can see here in the UV maps popping up right there too. See there? What's going on right there? I've never had that before. That's not good. Let me undo that. Control Z. There we go. Let me try that again. Alright, there we go. Cool. Oh, that's weird. I'm not digging that. Alright, I wonder if that's a glitch from Blender 3.0. There we go, got little spots here and there. Let me reduce the strength here to 0.1. I'm going to try some green, a lighter green. Just throwing some other colors in there. And let's go with a lighter blue color right here. Alright, let's see there. Alright, it's cool. I like it, I like it. Oh, these spots so noticeable. I'll try to blend them in a little bit. Alright, cool. Kind of looks like a graffiti art or something, right? It is the paintbrush tool. It is the airbrush tool. Alright, so I'm going to go back over here. We'll start making some details. I'm going to go over here to the line. And then I'm going to go with the dark red color. We'll bring this down. Something like that. Radius 50, let's try 20. Strength, let's try 0.5. Let me try to make a straight line. So I'm going to click right here. Hold down the left mouse button and drag down. That's what the stroke meant to be in this line. See, there's a line right there. You can already see them right there. There we go. And all I'm doing is trying to go over the existing topology there on the mountain. Alright, so just hold down the left mouse button and drag and release. And this is actually not my first attempt making this video. I've made this video several times. I'm just not happy with the results I've been getting with trying to make this, but I started thinking about Bob Ross. And he was always like, oh, there's no such thing as mistakes, just happy mistakes or something like that. You can always paint over it, you know. So I was reminding myself not to be so tough, not so critical on my skills or my abilities, right? So thank you, Bob Ross. Never would have thought that he made me start thinking about, I'd think about him while 3D painting, right? While using Blender over here. And this guy is freaking awesome. Thank you, Bob Ross. He really made an impact in my life. All right, so I got those darker shadows there. Let me try to blend them in a little bit. So I'm going to try to line this color up. Actually, just reduce the strength. Try something like that. Radius, let's go up to 50. And right now it's online. Let's go back over to the default, which is space. And I'll just try to color the sides of them there. So you kind of just blend it in. The contrast there doesn't look so obvious, so sharp. Try to smooth it in some. Nice. So I like how I added those other colors in there. You can see that green through there. There we go. I'm trying to go over the areas that look a lot more obvious. It's kind of hard to see because of this lighting feature. Over here in strength, I can go right here and I can try to change it to flat, which is what Grant Abbitt did. But in some of the projects, it's too much. It just looked completely flat, like there was no other lighting. And it was harder to paint. So you couldn't really see much. Just depends on the model, I guess. All right, now we're cool. This time it worked earlier when I did it with another project. Didn't look so good. All right, so let me try go into here. I can change how it does blend in. Let me try multiply. See, there it is. So multiply look a little better. Actually mixing up those colors. So you'd think mix would do that, but it's more like multiply is the one that actually does that type of stuff. Let me bring the radius down to 20. Undo, undo. The reason I don't like going too low is because it makes the strokes more obvious. Let me go all right. Let's go back to our references over here. See how we're looking? Something like that, right? All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, working our way down. So we're just making these darker, larger areas. Now let's go down into some of the details. All right, so let's see. Try to make the lighter, dark areas first. Or should I just jump into the snow? I'm gonna do the snow last. We'll put the snow at these peaks. So you haven't even colored the other side. So I'm really gonna try not to get it in the view. So try to cover this up. All right, so there we go. And now I'm gonna go in here, try to make some of the darker details. So I'm gonna bring the radius down to 10. Try to make some sharp little cracks in there. And we go with the, is that a cool red right there? Go a little bit more down. I'm going to go over here with the, I guess I'll stay with space. But instead of multiply, I'm going to go over here with overlay. Or should I go with the different one? I'll go with overlay. Use overlay blending mode while painting. And here we go. Kind of can't really see that stroke right there. Yeah, it's blending in too well with the other colors. Also, the strength is really down. Let's bring it up to 0.9. You have a more obvious looking. There we go. Line there. And try to add some details here. All right, now I'm going to go with say it's space here. I'm going to change this from overlay over to screen. And it's kind of like digging in there a lot better. It'll help me highlight these areas a lot better. So with the lighter red color, like this pinkish one. Bring the radius down to 20. And I'll try going through right here. There we go. So if it's too wide, let me try 10. Let's make us a little small crack. Nope. Let me zoom out or zoom in. Zoom in. Remember, you can always hit Control Z to undo something. And we'll try going over a little bit and try to hide it a little bit. Undo, undo, undo. Let's try a strength of 0.1. We'll go right through here. There we go. Just trying to soften it up here a little bit. So something like that. some yellows in there. All right, I'll start doing the snow right here. And let's see. So what colors do you have for snow? Those are clouds. What happened to the one with snow? All right, so even the snow looks kind of pink from the light there. So I guess I'll start with white, and then I'll use a pinkish color to make go over the white there. All right, there we go. Radius, start up at 30 is cool right here too. Strength, we're gonna go all the way to 99. Let's see. Bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Space, that's cool. Screen, let's go over to mix. Let's go with overlay. So I can just go over here. That's not looking good. Undo, undo, undo. Let's go with mix. Just go right on top of it there. Yeah, I like that. All right, cool, cool, cool. And we're gonna have some of it coming down, right? So I'm gonna change the size of the radius here. Let's try 10. 10 might be too small. 20. One for front view. I'm gonna zoom in and just have some of it go down the cracks right here. All right, I'm liking this a lot better than the one I did earlier. I think it's just because I added some snow to it. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Got some snow there. Maybe I want to add some more snow down here somewhere. And I'll add some snow like around here. Oh, I think I ruined it there. Control Z undo. Maybe like around here. We'll add some snow. Does that part even stick up? Yeah, it does kind of stick up. Let me go right here in this angle. And we'll just add some snow there. That's cool. I'll leave it like that. Try to clean it up there some. There we go. I got some snow here and there. Alright, so I'm going to throw a little bit of pink in there. So this light bouncing around. So I'm going to go over here into the pinks. And there we go. Bring the strength down to, let's try 0.4. And then I'm going to go over here to overlay and increase the radius. So throw some pink over it. There we go. Cool. I love this. I'm liking it now. There we go. Wow, I really like this one now. I don't know how I ended up with this magnificent piece of work. All right. Look at that. All right, you don't want to give the snow a little bit more of a pop. Let me see what it looks like here along the edges. Little small creaks, little small patterns there. Cool, I think I'm going to stop right there. I'm really liking this. You got some in there. This overlay pink color is really bringing to life some of these other colors that are down there. Kind of buried it there into the darkness. You know, maybe I don't want to bring those back up. Control Z, because now those little sharper edges there become more noticeable. I want to try to keep them less noticeable. There we go, cool. And I guess I'll try to do something to smear that in. So I'm going to go back here to overlay. I'm going to go to multiply. Multiply does a really good job of mixing things together. Bring the radius down to 20. And I'm going to go with this color right here. This reddish color right here. I don't know what color that is. So I'm going to click inside this bar. Use this color picker here to sample it. There we go. And then here I'm at space. Multiply 20, low strength. I'm just going to try to blend this in right here. See, there we go. Make those sharp edges a little less noticeable. You bring the strength down a little bit more. Alright, this is my, I think I mentioned earlier, I think it's my third time making this video. Because third time's a charm. I really like this one more than the other ones. I don't know if it's any better. Maybe I'm just more optimistic now about the whole thing. Alright, so I think I'm going to stop right there. Let me go back over here to layout. There's another thing I got to do before I save it. Go to File, External, and activate Automatically Packet to Blend. In case you save this later and then you move it around. Because this file right here, it's your texture map. Everything's painted on here, then it wraps it over here. And this is a separate file. It creates a separate file for this. You want to make sure you go to File, External Data, and activate Automatically Packet to Blend to save it in there. Alright, so this I have to go to the 3D viewport, to the rendered viewport shader. There it is, cool. So it looks a little bit different there, just because it's in the render viewport shader. So to change this, I'm going to take this tip from Abbitt. I'm going to go over here to Shading, and then change the Principled BSCF shader here. Because what's going on is this Principled BSCF shader is it's the dominant method of how the light interacts with it. So it has a lot of light bouncing off of it. So I'm going to click on it, delete it. And instead we're going to choose the emission shader, which does not have any light to bounce off of it. It just emits light. Shift A search, and go with emission. There it is. And we're not going to change the strength because then by having it at 1, it doesn't really emit much. So by leaving it here at 1, see, it looks a lot like the painting we had earlier. Whereas the principal, the BSDF shader had all these different light interactions where light bounces off of it. There's parameters in there to make it shinier and glossier, increase the specular and all that stuff. Alright, so there's that. Back over to layout. Now I want to have like a background image, something there. So I'm going to go back over here to Google Chrome, and I'm going to go to HDRIHaven.com. Now it's called polyhaven.com. See, loading. There it is. So polyhaven.com hosts HDRI files, textures, and models, and they're free. Free files here to use. An HDRI file is like a 360 background image, and I'm gonna look for something like a sunset. I think they have one called Caradon that I commonly use. Sunset. Is it this one? Cara 8 Sunset. Oh, cool. That's the one I use, but I think that's the daytime one. There's one called Dawn. Let me type in Kiara. See what I get. Nothing. Let me see, go back up. There we go. There it is, Kiara Dawn. I like that one. See, it has all these pinks in there. All right, so I'm going to download it. So I need to go up here to the upper right hand corner. Make sure it says HDR right here or HDRI. If not, click there and select it. Then download. There it is. If there's a Blender file in there, if you download it, then that's your entire Blender file. You have to try to pull the stuff from there. So you're better off just downloading only the HDRI file. So back over to Blender, and I will bring it in. Oops. Come on, computer, stop being so glitchy on me. All right, so I'm going to go over here to this red earth on the right side. And then here's the surface background. That's our root node. Check this out, shading. Right now this is a shader editor. This is for objects, for the material there in our object. But I'll switch over to world, and this is for the world right there. This is for the 3D environment there, the world. Background color, that's that right here. So here's background's connected to surface, which is right there. So I'm going to click on this yellow socket right here, and I'm going to bring in the HDRI file. I'm going to go to environment texture, and it's going to bring in an environment texture node there. I can click open here or open there. It gives me the same result. I can go and look for that file, just download it. So I'm going to click on downloads, scroll down, and then I'm going to click right here on Caradon 4K open image. There we go, cool. Let me go back over here to layout so I can see it in the render viewport shader. Z key rendered. See, there it is. 0 for camera views. The camera sees. I don't want that town down there. So let me go with a different view there. Oh, cool. There we go. What do I want in the sunset? Do I want the sun? Let's try to get the sun in the background. First, let me choose an angle for my camera. So something like that. Control alternate 0. There's my camera there. Click on the camera frame. G for grab. I don't want to get that edge there in the scene. And I want to get some of the top of it there. G, ZZ, I can zoom out. RXX, I can do one of these. G for grab. G, ZZ. And I guess I go with something like that. You know, I don't like that right there. Let me click on my land here, or my landscape RZ. Just rotate it a bit this way. No, I don't like that over there either. Let me change my view again. Control alternate 0. G for grab. That's cool. That's cool right there. All right, so now I got to do something about the background. Hit F12, see how it renders. Because the background doesn't seem to match here the painting, right? So I just want the sky. That's what I want. I just want the sky. So I'm going to go over here to shading again. Right here in the shader editor, make sure it's world. Here's my node network for the HDRI file. I'm going to make this the render viewport shader. 0 for camera view. And now I'm going to bring in some nodes here to rotate the background there. Shift A, search, mapping. Click there, vector to vector. And now I need to bring in texture coordinate. Why is it going so slow? Come on, Blender 3.0. Shift A, search, texture coordinate. Helps keep everything consistent. Let's go with the object to vector there. All right, and now I'm going to go over here. And I want to choose what I want on the background. So I'm going to go to 0 to rotate here. And I know there's a sunset in here somewhere. There it is. It's around there. This is a brighter area. You can't really see the sun, but if you bring the strength down, you'll be able to see it. Let me try 0.5, 0.4, 0.2. There's a sun there somewhere. I remember I've seen it before. But you get these cool horizon colors. There it is. I'm going to bring it down a bit. There we go. It's actually not too bad, but I don't want any of that mountain range there. There we go. I just want the sky. And here I have my light source. Where is it at? There it is. I'm just going to delete it. Next key, delete. You can try keeping it. Control Z, undo. If you're not using the emission shader on the land here, you can try bringing the lamp and then try to give it some light. But the thing is that the way it's made right now, it's not really gonna emit any light onto it because this is also emitting light. Control Z, delete. Cool. I got those mountains in the back. See if I change the scale. I got the not the mountains. I got the clouds in the back. Cool. Let's see. Let me try 0.1. 0.1. Not too much there. Control Z. I guess it's cool. I'll leave it like that. F12 to render. There we go. I got some of the red in there. That's cool. Looks very pixelated. Let me hit escape. I'm just gonna select my land here. My landscape, right click and then shade smooth. And F12 to render. Look a little smoother. Not too much. You can see some pixelation there, but that's cool. It does look like a digital painted object. Click on the camera frame here. Back to layout. G, Z, Z. Maybe zoom out some. Put off to the side. See, now I got that over there. I'm going to be at it all day. G for grab. Some of these just never finish. You know, I'll leave that back there. I'll let it slide. At 12. And there we go. Cool. So there it is. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. If you'd like to support the channel, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, share. Anything helps. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.